everybody. Welcome. This is my beach vlog that I do on Fridays, which ends up honestly being really laid back, even with the timing of it. So welcome. We're here on the beach. It's beautiful. Nibbles is in the house. Hey, I'm closer to the beach. I would have gotten even closer, but it's a full moon. Oh, guy with a surfboard. It's a full moon on Monday, so tide is high. So hopefully you can see, you can obviously see the waves coming up, and I'm actually not that far at all. It's just nice feather. Oh, thank you. Actually, so I think I might have mentioned this before, and whatever, if it's in lives, if it's in Clubhouse or wherever it is, my little bird or animal, spirit animal, so forth, are birds. And it's been that way. I've had connection with birds for a long time. I used to have a bird, an African gray parrot, who was just my absolute heart. I love birds and cats. They're like my favorite. My feather and fur babies. And so I have this thing with birds, and birds are they just follow me. Sometimes I've been in situations where they've surrounded me, like I was sitting in the park and I would be surrounded by birds. I don't know if it was like a protection thing. I have a lot of stories when my dad passed about hawks and birds and buzzards, and just our bird flew away and then she was found. I mean, that's probably a story for another day. Just beautiful bird stories that have to do with people that are deceased in my life, and also just in terms of protection. So this particular feather, I'm actually not sure who it belongs to, but I found this feather when I was at Wahine Beach Park, and I was just hanging out there. I think I had a gig or something on the east side, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump in the ocean before I go home, because that's one of my favorite beaches. And I went over there, and as I was leaving and gathering up my stuff, I saw this feather, and it was just beautiful. It was perfect, and I just was like, oh my gosh, it's like a little gift, because I'm always finding feathers, and so I've had this one for a long time, and so I just use it in my hair. So I love it. I love feathers. And I used to, back in the day, it was the thing several years ago to have feathers in your hair, and I guess it was from Pretty Chickens, and so that was the thing where everybody was clamping feathers in their hair. So I was really into that too when that was in, and it was super fun. That's back in our hula hooping days, I think. Did you ever get feathers, Nibbles? Did you ever have feathers in your hair, or was that just me? Maybe I was just the hardcore hooper girl that did that. But yeah, welcome. I'm going to give you some time to take a look at the beach. I'm in a little pathway, so you're just going to see people walking back and forth. But that's cool, because it's just you're sitting out here with me, and you're seeing people pass by, and they're going to just be looking at me wondering who the hell I'm talking to. No, you just had sticks and twigs. With flowers in your hair, right? Flowers, feathers, both of them are good. So I'm going to give you a moment to take a look at this lady's butt, because that's really what we're showing right now. But let's see is she still, okay, good, great. Get a little view. Let's see if I can angle the camera a bit. Let's see what my camera skills are looking like right now. I can get a good view of the ocean. It's super windy. I don't know if you can hear that. People watching is an essential. It is, right? It's an essential part. We're gonna do some walking today too, though. But yeah, it's windy today. It's a little bit overcast and cloudy, so you guys get to see here. You can see, look up. One of my favorite things to do is actually to look. I'll just give you a second just to do that. I love staring up at the palm trees. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it's so beautiful just to stare up at the sky and watch the palm trees move. I literally could just record this for everybody for 15 minutes, and I can guarantee you would feel amazingly relaxed. So that's what the sky is looking like. When we're heading down, we'll come back down. Let's see if I missed anything. There we go. Yes. So anyway, let me give you some beach time, just to look at the ocean. So, I'm always just winging it with this one. This one is my forced wing. I do not plan for this beach vlog, and whatever comes up at this time, because I want it to be organic and fun. Here we go. Get a better view. This is one of my favorite beaches, actually. I'm so surprised that it's empty, on a Friday, especially on a Friday afternoon. This is kind of rare. So you guys are getting a nice kind of somewhat unobscured view of the beach, and I'm gonna jump in the water too afterwards. How was everybody's week? Nibbles, how was your week? How was everybody's week? Make sure you post it below, whoever is watching. Let's see. I feel like I had a really busy week. Again, I feel like it's just grind Virgo time right now. Like, we're getting in those last few degrees of Virgo, and Virgo is just having us just get this shit done, like, just get work done. Get it done, get in there, finish it, cross the dot the I's, cross the T's, that kind of thing. So I feel like that's essentially what my week has been looking like. I took a moment this week and I finally watched, because I love horror films. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, I mean, like, Nibbles knows that, but I love horror films. However, with everything that's going on in the world, that has satisfied my love for horror, because it can be a little horrific what's happening now. So I kind of took a little bit of a break from them. It's been a decent week. I finally got to watch your last astrology chat, and it was hitting. Oh, good. Yeah, that one's a good one for this week. And very, like, poignant, those points and those transits that come in. And especially with us having, like, the full moon that's happening in Pisces on Monday. That's going to be like something that we're feeling, and we're going to feel over the weekend. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so back to my horror thing, right? So my relationship to horror is weird, because I have a weird relationship to horror. People often ask, like, why do people like horror? And I think it has to do with the fact that, like, things in my life were, like, in a, good, and happy and positive. And so it's, like, interesting to kind of have a different kind of perspective of things. So I loved horror when everything was, like, great. But then when the world kind of sort of twisted and turned, in 2020, with everything that happened with Rona and just subsequent fallout and politics and everything else like that, it's deeply felt like, oh, this feels like we're living in a horror movie. So I haven't really felt the need to, be a part of it the way that I was before. But luckily I feel a little bit different, or I've shifted. So I started watching American Horror Story again, because that's, like, one of my favorite horror anthologies. And so that's been fun. And then I watched the American Horror Stories. I don't know if you guys have seen. I guess it's like a subset that's not like American Horror Story, where it has, like, the same cast throughout the whole season. These are, like, I think, little vignettes. I've only watched the first two. So it seems kind of fun. It's kind of pulpy, and I kind of like that. I like that. That's kind of fun. So that was, like, a fun thing. I know, like, watching horror is self-care, but it is for me because I like that show. And remember, we were talking about self-care and how self-care looks so different for everybody. So that was super fun. I can only watch that heavy horror drama when things are good. Exactly. I feel the same exact way. When things are good, or when things are looking up, then you can kind of sort of, like, fall into that and be a part of that. So yeah, I agree with you, and I feel the same way. Let's see, the ocean looks so beautiful. It's so nice. I'm gonna give you guys some more view. You can look at what's going on. I'll give you a park view too. Somebody behind me has their little hammock. Look at this. This is so funny. He's got his hammock. There's so much value, I mean, there's so many different places, right, where we live in the world. Here, I'm going to give you some more ocean time, and I'll just narrate from the background. So there's so much value in relaxation and having, like, downtime, to the point where I feel like, that's why we vacation, right? That's why we actually, like, go into a total different space with a completely different culture. Sometimes, if we're lucky enough to, vacation internationally, and just, like, relax and fully, like, the guy or girl, I think it's a guy in the hammock is just laid out, and that to me feels so good to be able to do that, especially on Aloha Friday. Just to take that time, because you put in the work during the week and everything that was going on, and then you're just like, oops, sorry guys, it's windy. You put in that time, and now like it you get to relax and you get to take a break, and that's just, like, wonderful. Okay, this lady, like, she's talking, she's so loud on her phone. So I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, like, so So let's chat. I was thinking one of the things like that came up for me this week that I was thinking about a lot was boundaries. And that just popped up in my head for various different reasons, for various different like things that I've, clubhouse rooms, having conversations about that, doing readings for people, talking with people about things. And oh, you can hear me great. She's just living her best. Fantastic. As long as you guys can hear me, she's great. So just talking about like situations, and I'm going to still have beachy in the background, but I'll be here. So boundaries and why they're important and its relationship to Saturn, and being kissed by Saturn. I was actually talking to my son about this because my son has a lot of Saturn placements, and just, anybody who's living in those places where they have a lot of planets in Aquarius and in Capricorn, or Saturn is just prominent in your chart. Maybe it's the ruler of your chart if you're an Aquarius rising, if you're a Capricorn rising, or you just have a lot of aspects to Saturn. And especially if you have harsher aspects to Saturn's, like squares, oppositions, and conjunctions. And the importance of that, and even just kind of sort of talking about that, because we have this full moon in Pisces, and Pisces is this like open-hearted, open space where we're kind of embracing the imaginative, embracing what is possible, embracing our dreams and going into a dream space, so that we can manifest, because that's so important for a lot of us. We have to dream it up first, and once we dream it up, then we can actually like live it up, so to speak. And the benefits of Saturn, even though it seems like it makes things more difficult, it definitely delays things and takes time when we're ready to go. And we talked about this, and I think a beach vlog, the first beach vlog that I did, we talked about like delays and waiting and kind of just that the hangman energy of the tarot. And with Saturn, sometimes if we are so expansive and if we're so big and we're so dreamy and we're boundless, for some people that can actually be really scary. Having some boundaries, having some limitation on what you can do actually can create things for you. And it reminds me a lot of improv, which, by the way, I like to watch, but I actually hated to do when I was an actor. Like, improv was the worst because they're so brilliant. You really have to have this like mutable mind to be able to shift to different scenarios and everything like that. So with improv, it's interesting because you have your imagination. It's such a like, Piscean kind of or Neptunian type of like energy in terms of like, with a lot of Saturn put in there, because you have this boundless possibility, just like the ocean. Like as we're looking out into the ocean where it's boundless, it feels like it just will go on forever and ever and ever. If you look up at the sky, it's just boundless. The galaxies, everything goes on ever and ever, and we feel like, wow, we can just get lost in all of that. The possibilities are endless for everything. But what's interesting is once you give yourself a limitation, or you give yourself a time limit, or you say, a spatial limit or something, suddenly you have to become creative because you're like, oh, I have a limitation. I have to get this in by the 15th. I only have 3 days to do this. It has to be the color red. I can only do this with 3 people. Like whatever kind of limitation that is, suddenly it forces you to become creative to find a solution to something because you've been given limitations. So there's like a lot of freedom when you're boundless, when it's all of the possibilities, but then there's also a lot of freedom when you have limitation too. And so when limitations do come into your life, and they pop in your life, and they come into our lives in many ways, like we thought we were boundless in relationships, and then somehow the relationships gets limited because it breaks up, or it's not working anymore and it has to be shifted, it has to be done differently, or you have a new addition because you have a new child, or it's a long distance relationship because somebody suddenly has to move away, or whatever the situation is. Like suddenly you have a limitation, and it can feel very much so like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. There were so many possibilities before. And now, like, what do I do? Now I have like such a small space to work in. And so if you look at that small space, that's where all the juicy stuff comes from. And so like improv is like that. You start off with anything's possible in this space. You don't know what your relationship is with the other person. You don't know where you are, and you don't know what you're doing. So typically you ask the audience like, okay, you ask them like, who are we? What's the relationship between the people on stage, and where are we? Or what are we doing? So you asked kind of 2 things, and then that automatically sets up the scene. Suddenly, it's no longer all of the possibilities. Suddenly, you're brother, sister, and you're in jail. and then anything can happen. Why are you in jail? Where are your parents? How old are you? Did you do it? Did you not do it? Is anybody coming to bail you out? Do you get a phone call? Did your brother or sister pull you into it? Who's the mastermind? So suddenly all of these things happen. And so when I took an improv class, because it was mandatory when I was in drama school, I was like, no, and I didn't really realize that it was until we got those boundaries, like this is the relationship, this is where you are, that's what you're doing, that suddenly my creativity was just like going off the roof, because I was so scared, because I didn't know what would happen. What if somebody threw something out there and I didn't know what to do with it? Like, I didn't know how to move with it. I didn't know. But every time somebody threw something out to you, the thing in improv that they always say is yes and. That's like the little thing that everyone says. So when your scene partner or the audience or somebody sends something out to you and it changes something in the scene, you say yes and. So you're building on it. And I often thought about that a lot, like, ooh, what if I did that in my life? Like how applicable those things are, because I believe like what you do in one thing, you do in everything. And I believe everything is a teacher for you. Every job, every class, every relationship, everything, it teaches you and helps you. And they're all applicable to multiple different parts of your life. And so, when I heard this yes and thing, I was thinking, ooh, like what if I approached life like that? What if I approached life with yes and, even if I didn't like it? And there's a lot of things that we don't like, right? There's a lot of things that just don't feel so good. And so, but what if when something got thrown at us like a curveball, we were like, yes, and then we could just kind of move up to that. Instead of trying to fight it, because like in improv, if you negate, if you don't yes and, then you kill the scene. Because it's all about building. It's all about building. It's all about that mutable energy. And when we're talking about mutable energy, we're talking about Virgo energy. We're talking about Pisces energy, right? We're talking about Sagittarius energy, all of this mutable, moving energy, especially with this new moon coming in. So I think with this Pisces, I'm sorry, not new moon, full moon. With this Pisces full moon, it's going to be opposing the sun. And because that's what full moons are, right? We have the moon and the sun opposite each other. And opposite the full moon in Pisces, we have Virgo, which loves limitation, loves to say, like, let's cut these up in little pieces. Let's be deliberate about what we're doing. Let's organize things. Let's section things off. So that can be a lot of boundaries with that. So we're looking at how we can explore our imagination and explore the liminal space, the space in between things, the under the veil, so to speak, and how we can create things that are workable in that space so that we can, move forward with some of the things that we want to manifest and dream and like just put out into the world and have in the world. So anyway, that is something I was having a conversation with when I was talking to my son about that, because I just think it's important to have that mutability, because we do kind of have this like invisible contract with life that says we're here to be on a journey. That's why the hero's journey is so moving to us and so important to us, and we see it in every aspect. We see it when we read books, we see it when we are watching movies or watching television. We can actually see the hero's journey play out in our own lives. And it's because we are here on that, in a sense. We're coming here, and it's not one journey, even though, at the end of our lives, we can look at it as one journey, but, essentially we can be going through multiple journeys, and we know, like, as, with this invisible contract, that we know that it's going to be times where we have plenty, and times where things are a little bit slim, times where we doubt ourselves, and times where we feel really empowered, and times where we're kind of sort of in this existential in-between place where we're just like, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just moving through the motions. Let's like, you know what I mean? Let's let it go. And for some people, that's like, for me, I feel like that's the most difficult, like that in-between space, the middle space, where I don't feel anything. I'm not like in great joy or great sadness. I'm just kind of like, just here laying another brick, And that too is part of the process, because sometimes we do need to just mellow and be still and hold too. And that's what that kind of sort of feels like. So anyway, it is super. Can you still hear me? It's so windy and so beautiful, but let's go take a walk. Let's take a walk and let's talk, because I feel like there's a lot of beauty going on here, and there's a couple like wonderful, thank you for the heartsies. Yeah, let's go walk and talk so that we can take more of a view of the ocean and chat about some other things. I'm gonna go the opposite way this time, because last time when we walked and I was kind of in this vicinity, we went towards one of my other favorite beaches, and I want to take you a couple of different places. So let's go on our beach walk. And here, let me switch off some things. I'm going to take this down because I have glorious camera skills. Not really, but I am actually getting some new equipment that's going to make these way more sexy. So just bear in mind, hold on, bear in mind that we are, okay, you're going to see my face really up close until I switch this. There we go. Nope, I didn't switch it. Hold on, you're still looking at my face, but that's okay. It's a nice face. There we go. Okay. Let's get some, oh, I'm so glad you needed this and this spoke to you. Let me just get my mic in so you can hear me without all the wind. So now you heard what it sounds like, you know, with all that wind. Oh, I'm so glad. Let's see. I'm reading what you said. Oh, I'm so glad you needed to hear that. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Yes, anding your life can be very empowering. And it was really the first thing I thought of in the middle of my creative arts class. I was like, oh, this is a life. Like, this is life, you know, this is a possibility in our lives. You know, we can do this. What if we did this? What if we didn't look at things in terms of being conflict? Now, one thing though, with the yes and, is you have your scene partner with you. And there's this concept in improv, and I'm not a professional improv actor. I was a professional actor. So those of you who have done improv extensively, please comment on what your thoughts on this. But there is this idea that your partner, and really just in acting in general, that your partner has your back. You know, like they have your back. Like if you're suddenly siblings in jail, like we said before with the scenario, and then suddenly someone says, well, the aliens came and I don't know why we're in this alien prison, then yeah, you go with that. Like suddenly you're in a galactic prison with aliens and it's your sibling and you're trying to figure out how to phone home or whatever, you know? And so you know that your scene partner has your back. Whatever you throw out, they're going to cover. They're going to save you if you get into a bind. Like there's this unspoken kind of agreement that those who are in the scene with you have your back. Now we know in life that sometimes we're in situations where people don't necessarily always have our backs. That's just the truth, right? But that's why it's important for our family members and our friends and our ohana, the people that we trust, that they have our back in that sense and we have their back too. And that has a lot to do with like interdependence, you know? Oh, welcome, Talule Hoyo, if I pronounce that correctly. Yay! Welcome. Thanks for joining for the beach vlog. We're just talking about yes-anding our life and how that relates to kind of improv and how that relates to, you know, our lives, and we're going through some challenges and what it means to have some boundaries, you know, in our life, because sometimes, you know, we get thrown a curveball and we have to kind of adapt to that. And we're about to do a little bit of a walk. I'm just packing up everything right now. There's this little dog. Look at this bulldog, guys. Look at this dog. He is just, there's a bunch of them. Look. All the dogs. This is how they greet. Imagine if humans greeted each other like that. I guess maybe some do, right? Certain neighborhoods. So yeah, so we know in our lives that people don't necessarily always have our backs, right? Like sometimes it is true that we feel like there actually might be an antagonist, you know, and improv isn't really about antagonism. It's about working together for a shared goal, and the surprise is what's funny, which is different than a drama, because in a drama you actually do need an antagonist, and there's also growth in the character. So life isn't exactly improv. In some ways it is. Life feels a little bit more like drama. In some ways it is. But in what ways can we, you know, kind of apply some of those like improv type of techniques into our life, like the yes-anding, you know? Instead of feeling like we're cutting our whole life off by saying no or by holding, and not moving forward. So I feel like that's important. Okay, I am all packed up and let's get to walking. Let's get to walking. All right, so where shall we go? Well, first let's go spend a little bit more time by the water. Here we go. Okay. Look at this. Okay, I'm just gonna give you guys some beauty right now. Just got some surfers coming back in. So stunningly gorgeous. I was gonna sit here, but I didn't, just because surf's up and I know it would have, like, you're never supposed to put your back to the ocean. Look at that. It's like super empty and it feels so good. And my feet are in the sand, which feels so good. Okay, don't look at my feet though. My toenails are not done, but that's okay too. But they're in the sand. I'm grounding myself. So have you guys heard about grounding or earthing, which you can also do at the ocean, not only just walking in nature? Apparently there are these negative ions in the earth, and we have receptors in our feet and we're picking up them, and it's just supposed to like be healthy for you. Some people find it healing. Hey Jamie, thanks so much for joining. I'm just giving everybody, this is my beach live that I do on Fridays. And I'm just giving everybody like some ocean, some Hawaii time, especially if you're on the mainland, it's getting chilly. I do this every Friday where we just kick back and talk about fun things, and we just look at the ocean. I used to, when I was on the mainland for a couple years when I was on there, I would just watch videos of people doing this, and I was like, I just want people to, show the beach, and I could just look at it and take in all the... How are you doing this week, Jamie? How's everything going for you? We're gonna take a little bit of a walk soon, but I just wanted to just get some ocean, just because this is just so perfect and it's so clear. You see the sailboat out there too, right? There's just something so beautiful, and I'll say this over and over and over, and I feel like I say it till the cows come home, how relaxing and calming and beautiful it is. And again, make sure you look that up, those negative ions, they're actually in water. So you'll feel the same way whether you're earthing, you're putting your feet in the sand, you're putting your feet on the earth. Oh, you're looking forward to your vacation. Yes. Where are you going, Jamie, on your vacation? Where are you headed? Are you headed somewhere tropical and warm, or... And Intuitive Wolves, which is a fantastic name. Thanks so much for joining. How are you? How has your week been? We're just checking in about our week. This is a beautiful Aloha Friday where I do this beach vlog and just show folks the ocean and talk about topics that pop in my head. Headed to St. John. Oh yes, lots of vitamin C. That'll be fantastic. Try to get in there as much as possible. Put your feet in the sand. I'm going to show you guys my feet in the sand. Yes. And jump in the warm waters. And make sure you eat lots of fruit too there, Jamie. That's important as well. Just eat lots of delicious fruits and vegetables. Oh, so good. There's nothing like, you can find that on the mainland too if you go to farmers markets and stuff like that, but there's nothing like just like delicious tropical fruit. It's so good, so much good vitamin C. Get some good papayas, get some mangoes. That's gonna be fantastic. Yes, and like I said, it's interesting, just so that you can see, like, it looks stunningly gorgeous, but look at the cloud cover. You can see, the sun is I'm going to show you guys the sun. It's a little obscured because there's a lot of clouds. So we do have, like, you know, some darker clouds coming in. But it's always like, you know, this is a time of year where it's like our rainy season, so we just get more rain. But you know, it's like the rain that you want. It doesn't rain all day. It just like will drizzle, and then sometimes it'll just rain at night, which is so beautiful. I love it when it rains. I mentioned that before, but like here where I am on the south side, it's just a beautiful mix because it's like a beautiful trade wind, so you're always nice and cool and it's breezy, and then the water's warm and beautiful, and then you get like little rain that comes in. Hi, the rooted soul, how are you? Thanks for joining. How are you doing this week? I'm just checking in with everybody, seeing how everyone's doing and showing them some beach time, because I just love to come out here and do this myself. I just wanted to present it to everyone else because it's just beautiful. It's funny, when I was in my clubhouse, because we do a clubhouse every Wednesday, so if you're not joined, definitely go to Instagram and you can find my club, the Wild Wahine, on there. We do rooms on Wednesdays from 1 Hawaii Standard Time from 1 to 3, and it starts at 4 on the Pacific Coast, and if you're on the East Coast it starts at 7, and we talk about different topics this particular time, and we do readings too, so we did oracle card pulls, but we were talking about let's see, a lot of different things that were fun, and so I just love looking and talking about like relaxing at the ocean. Hi, so great. I'm in town and I like that here too. Love the rainy vibes. Yes, me too. But yeah, one of my friends who joins in our conversations, who lives like literally her house is on the beach, she says that she will tune into the beach lives, which I thought was funny because I figured like, oh well, if you live here you're not gonna like necessarily tune in, but she was just like, I love it, and I was like, well, fantastic. So that just goes to show, like, even when and I do that too, like I'll just be perusing Instagram looking at like other islands or like other like Maui or like, you know, because that's like home, and or Kauai or Big Island. Like my other friends that live on other islands, I'll be like, oh, look at how beautiful. Oh, look at the jungle, or look, oh, you know, just so I'm obsessed. You know, you can live in beautiful spaces, but sometimes not give yourself the opportunity to enjoy that beauty. And it's so important that we go out and we enjoy the beauty because it's here and it's free, and that's what's wonderful. And if we, you know, unfortunately live in a place where like, you know, maybe it's a seasonal thing and, you know, you're feeling like, oh, well, I'm not really feeling the beauty here. I mean, we can just be so grateful for technology that it allows us to, you know, do this so that we can connect and we can just look at the ocean together and we can talk and all of that. So, ooh, look at this wave that's coming in. Woo! Oh, and it took my slipper, guys. It took my slipper, so I gotta go get my slipper. Well, we'll wait for it to come back. Okay, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. We'll wait for it to come back. And look at that. Okay. She taketh and she giveth back. Okay. There we go. So beautiful. And I think that's like so apropos too, like, you know, the taking and the giving, you know, like when you feel like something has been taken away, a lot of times, yeah, the ocean does want to play. A lot of times we're like, oh, let me go get it. Like, oh my gosh, it was taken from me. Let me snatch it back. I have to get it. And sometimes it just takes a moment to wait, because you see the current of things, you see the current in life, and you know that the wave is just going to come back and give it to you. And then you got to go grab it, you know. But if you ran right away, then you'd probably be hit, and then, you know, my phone would be wet, and that would not be fun. So yes, she taketh and she gives back. And that's so important. Let me see. I know you guys said some things. Oh, yes. Nibbles, Clubhouse. Fantastic. So much fun. The conversations on Clubhouse are getting deeper, and they're getting like more raw and honest, and transformation is happening. People are manifesting their dreams. It's really amazing. I mean, I personally have had manifestations. Vanessa, who I co-host the Clubhouse with, is also having beautiful manifestations. Do you want to go out there? Should we go out there? Should we walk out there? I'm like, I kind of want to walk out there, but it does look like the water's getting it's a little bit, it's kind of high. I'm like, I don't want to drop my phone. But I kind of do. Well, there's another, we can kind of go out there. Let's see. There's this one too. We can go out on this one too, which is a little bit higher. Yeah, because the water's kind of covering that, so that's probably might be a little bit slippery. So maybe when we have less tide, like less high tide, we can go out there. But for now, look at how pretty this is. Oh, you're like, do it. First the hat, then the slipper. The ocean wants to play with me. She does. She's always wanting me to come play with her, for sure, 100%. You're like, do it. Okay, well, we could go out there. We're probably not going to go all the way to the edge because it's filled. And I don't want to slip and fall with my phone and all that jazz. And I have my bag on me. But yeah, let's go. Let's go for a little mini walk out there at least. Let me put my slippers here. I'm just going to tuck my slippers away here. But I will have to take my bag with me. Okay, let's go. Even if we don't go all the way out there, we can go out there just so that you get an idea. So here to my left, you can see all of the park and the really pretty banyan trees. And here to my right, Ocean Beauty. And they're doing some kind of construction here. This, I believe, is for wheelchairs. I think it's a wheelchair ramp, so it's to make it wheelchair accessible to the ocean, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So, ooh, oh my gosh, look at these waves. Oh, okay, actually. I'm like, we're actually gonna go down here. Well, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining. Let's see, Nibbles, what are you saying? Be safe. But yay, adventures. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be safe. It gets rocky towards the edge, so I'm not gonna go all the way out because it is slippery. But if for nothing else, ooh, look at that, guys. Yeah, probably gonna be here because I just don't want to get wet. But we can be here. Look at this. So pretty. This pathway is nice. I did a reel where I walked this pathway when the water was a lot calmer. But it is windy and I don't want to lose my windscreen, so we're probably going to stay here. But what I can do is try to see if I can get some levels for you, because I think if I get some levels, let's try to put the purse. Okay, here we go. I'll try to see if I can get some levels without getting too wet. Let's see what we can do, because I think this low level is kind of cool. It's kind of cool looking. It's kind of cool looking. The oceans. Oh, good. You can hear them. Yeah, banyan trees are amazing. I should take you. I found grandfather banyan, like the most magical, gorgeous banyan tree I've ever seen in my life. I have to stand back up because the water was coming up and I didn't want my butt or my bag to get wet. So let's go to the other, because we can walk out on the other one. Oh, that one got all, look, that one got all the way up here. Okay. Yeah, here's a banyan. Right here. Ooh, but I'm glad that you guys are loving the ocean sounds, yeah? Okay, let's walk out to this one. This one's a little bit more like I can put down my bag and not feel like it's gonna get wet or get blown away. Okay, this is funny, guys. I'm sorry, but this little, look at how he's taking care of her. Isn't that cute? Sorry, birds trip me out. I know they're pigeons and everybody's like, oh, whatever, pigeons. But birds are birds to me. They're all magical and I love them all. So that's me. Look at that turquoise though. Look at how beautiful. beautiful it is. So yeah, we're here in Waikiki. You can see because there's all the hotels and everything. But we're at a part of Waikiki Beach, which is like my kind of favorite, secret, like off to the side, not where all the tourists are part. So, and you can see it's pretty. Not a lot of folks, not so many folks are here. So let's keep walking. I'm gonna go get my slippers, and then we'll keep traveling and do our little walk. I hope everybody's enjoying this. I'm so glad that you guys have joined me today. This is so special. I'm going to be upgrading, which I'm excited about, my equipment so it can be less kind of bumpy as I'm doing these walk and talks. But I just think that's fun. Also, I wanted to do some ones. I have big ravens here. I see them often. I love ravens and crows. They're gorgeous and so smart. So smart. I love them. They're amazing. Okay. So let's walk a little bit through here. So as we come a little bit further down, we're going to see more people, just chilling on their vacation. We might actually even see my son. He's hanging out with his friends. So just know that he'll probably be like, oh my gosh, my mom is doing her live, and hide when he sees me. But I will try to get him on camera so you guys can see my handsome boy. But you know how young people are, guys, I haven't had a good picture in, I don't even know, it's probably been a year. Does anybody have kids, teens or tweens, or when they're at that age where they don't want to take photos with you anymore? And it's hard to get a photo. Yeah, heart that. Is it hard to get? What happened? We used to take so many photos of them, right? And then now it's just whatever. I think the last good photos I had was when he went to prom, and he was of course had a date, and they were all decked out, and we took photos. But that was back when we were in New York, because he did his high school there. And so we had a really fun photo shoot by Lincoln Center. But yeah, it's a bit challenging. Oh, we're coming up on another banyan. So look, we'll walk around this one so you can see. So many banyans here. Banyan trees are originally from India, I believe. We have here in Hawaii some of the oldest banyan trees in the United States, which is pretty amazing. They're very, very old. And we have them, I don't know about the other islands, but I definitely know, there's a big, I think the largest banyan that we have is actually in Lahaina, that big banyan. But here's another one. Sarah, hey girl. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, we're just doing a beach live, and we're just talking and walking and looking at this big, beautiful banyan. Look at how big this tree is, y'all. I mean, look. I love banyan trees. Apparently during tsunamis or earthquakes and things like that, you could hide in banyans, and they would, yay, I'm so happy you're here too. We were just looking at the ocean. We're going to go back to looking at the ocean, but I just wanted to show you guys the banyan tree, because they're just so spooky and beautiful. And these ones, they actually, of course, because they would just be having roots everywhere, so they trim them. You can see right here where they trim them. But look, I mean, doesn't it, it's a gothic, they're so beautiful. And their roots come down. They remind me the trees in the Lord of the Rings. And nothing really grows underneath them. You can kind of sort of see, because they block out so much shade. So they're great trees. So here's an example of how their roots come out, and then they go down here. And that's essentially what they do. So it ends up being a forest of banyans. It's out of Avatar. Look, don't you want to just walk? Look at this. Let's see if I can you're peeking at the ocean through. But yeah, there's so many. I'm a tree person, you guys. I could just totally, right? It is like Harry Potter. Exactly. And they feel like that too. They feel like an old soul. I love trees. Okay. So here we are. This one's a really beautiful one. And it's so cool underneath here. It's so cool and breezy. But yeah, again, nothing grows underneath them. Look, nothing's growing. Okay, and so here we come. Now, this area here, this is fun. I once had a gig here when I was face painting. I think it was for, what was that Disney, Coco, I think, the Disney movie where it was like the grandma, you know, he went into the underworld and the sugar skulls and all of that, and we were painting sugar skulls and all of that for Halloween. And this right here, this structure is where we do movies on the beach, or at least this is where we did all of these things, you know, prior to Miss Rona, who joined us. And they do volleyball here too. But they remove the volleyball nets, and then they have us watch the screen up there, and that was just a ton of fun. Because I used to do that in Waikiki all the time, and then it stopped, but then they started again, and then unfortunately Miss Rona came. So I'm hoping once we're you know, Miss Rona, we will be back to doing fun, outdoorsy, things like that. So yeah, as we get a little closer into Waikiki, there's more folks here. I'm gonna just walk over these lava rocks. Now over here, you can see other banyans, and that's where the zoo is. And so would you guys like a vlog from the zoo? Would that be fun for you? I used to go there and sing to the elephants all the time, and they respond. It's really funny. So I had this thing where I was just singing to the animals, and lots of them responded. The warthog had the funniest response. Like, it just reminded me of like Lion King with Pumbaa. And I would love to do, oh, you're like, yes, the zoo. Also, we have 2 new giraffes. So love the giraffe. I forgot his name, the older giraffe that was there. He's so sweet. You can see him in the mornings. When I used to drop my son off to school, I would see him in the mornings when we would drive that way. So yeah, let's go this way. We're getting other perspectives. A few more people up here, but you get to see all the guys jumping off the wall. So I'm just gonna put on my mask, or lift it up. And okay. And we can go out, like I said, on this one. So this is fun. This is super fun beach. Glad to see everybody's back to work now. You know, all these were closed. All this was closed during the height of everything. So you can see there's obviously more people, but we're definitely not at the tourist level that we were before. But look at that. That's where I'm going after this is over, folks. This is where I'm going. So this is fun over here because the guys, all the local guys, jump off into the water here. This is also where like a lot of boogie boarders are. So that's fun. And this looks like a bunch of guys that want to jump or about to jump. But here we go. Yeah. And what's nice is everybody has their music and everything. Because it's Hawaii, and look at this view. I love this view. Isn't this pretty? Now back there, if you can see, kind of peeking up is Diamond Head. We'll do a Diamond Head walk another time so you can see. Right now Diamond Head's really dry because the summertime has been hot, but once we get like into December, January, it's all green and it's gorgeous. But it's even gorgeous when it's brown. Okay, you want to watch this girl jump? Okay, let's watch her jump. But it's so beautiful. See how before it was like really cloudy and now it's sunny and beautiful. Okay, they're gonna jump. Okay, you guys want to see the jump? Oh God, I can't wait to be on that beach in the future. I know, Zara, when are you coming back over to visit? You have to come to Oahu. Last time you were at Maui, but you have to come visit us here. Oh. Did you guys see that? He totally jumped off. Okay. So we're just chilling here. I love the fact that there's music. So during the height of Rona, nobody was out here because, you know, we didn't have any tourists. So I would just come out here and sit and like read, literally on this ledge, and just chill. Big splash, I know. The big splash, big splash. But look at that sky. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's try to see if we can go all the way to the edge. So here we go. Maybe I'll just do one straight from here. Look at that. This is the part where like a lot of surfers, they'll go out from here and then they'll go over there, and that's how they get into the ocean. And like I said, people jump off too. Like this dude right here. I don't know if he's gonna jump. He might not. Oh, he just jumped. Look at that. So I'll give you guys a nice 360. There you go. Beautiful 360. Let's go. Well, I don't want to go all the way to the edge because they're taking a picture over there, but let's go over here. I have one hand because my other hand's holding my bag, so I can't get all the way over because I don't want to drop my phone or my mic. But you get the idea. You see that pink hotel over there? It's so pretty. Love that one. So yeah, blue, green, emerald water. So pretty. So peaceful. I love it. Well, thank everybody. I just want to thank you guys all for like joining me here for the beach live. And we walked a little bit. You guys got to know a little bit of Waikiki, see my home. I'm gonna go get right in here. Yes, or maybe I'll get over in here. It depends, huh? Super fun. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you get out and you do some fun stuff this week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy this weekend. You know, you got that full moon in Pisces, so make sure you're enjoying that. And I will see you guys later. Oh, thanks so much, Jamie. Yeah. Yes, I will. I'm going to enjoy my swim. I definitely need to get in the water. I haven't been in the water actually this week, so I'm going to very much enjoy this. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to sign off here. I'm just going to sit here on this ledge to show you some beauty before I sign off. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Zara. Thank you for joining. Give you guys some sky. Give you guys some ocean. So thank everybody. Thank you guys so much. And know that, you know, we do the Astro Chats, the Astro Chat, it's not live, but it's the Astro Forecast on Mondays. So on Mondays, you get your Astro Forecast for the week. And then on Fridays, we do just like a cool down beach walk, relaxing Hawaii chat about different things. So yes, for our Aloha Friday. So thanks everybody for joining. And I will see you Monday, right, for the Astro Forecast. And hopefully you'll join us Wednesday for the Clubhouse. Oh, actually, just another thing. Nibbles, who's on here, is going to be co-hosting. We're going to be talking about herbs and plants and magic and planets and like use in like food and all the type of stuff that we talk about. So I'm excited. That's going to be starting up at the end of September. So I'm super stoked about that. So thanks everybody for joining. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And just know that you're special and that you're amazing, and to never, ever let anybody tell you that you're not. Okay? Enjoy!